So for dinner tonight, we are having chili. So in here, I just made a really simple turkey chili. And this has ground turkey, 99% fat-free, with some fine roasted tomatoes, kidney beans, pinto beans, chili powder, onion. I think that's it. Oh, and a can of tomato sauce, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, all that stuff. And then I just made a thing of homemade cornbread over here. This is like a sweeter cornbread. So yeah, that's what we're having. And then to top the chili, I just shredded up some Colby Jack cheese. We have an avocado if anyone wants one. And then this is just some sour cream. This is how I'm having mine. And then the girls are eating it with just cheese. And the husband will probably have avocado. And he likes tortilla chips with his instead of cornbread. For dinner today, the girls are having... Is my camera dirty? Sorry. Anyways, the girls are having some chicken wings. All I did was took just regular little chicken drumettes and I put them in the oven with a little bit of oil and then just sprinkled some ranch powder. So I just used this on just a little bit. Put it in for like 425 for like 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, I don't know. I didn't really time it. And then the side we are having these ginormous strawberries and a piece of pineapple. And then I am not the biggest fan of chicken wings, so I'm having one of these chicken cordon bleus. So today here's the husband's breakfast. So what I made was tortillas, I think it's called tortilla. I don't know how the heck you say it. So what I did was I took a bunch of cilantro, mixed it with a couple eggs, and then like took spoonfuls and fried it in oil, and then I made a salsa, and then it has cactus in it and topped with queso fresco. So for dinner today, we are having a really simple dinner. We're having some Italian chicken, Italian marinated chicken. So what I did was marinate in this Italian dressing probably like a half an hour just on the counter, and then I just grilled it over here, my little panini press. I got another one going. Then it just has salt and pepper on it. Over here I have some Brussels sprouts. These are the girls' favorite way to eat them. It's just Brussels sprouts that I quartered with a couple pieces of cut up bacon, or turkey bacon, whatever I have on hand. Some fresh garlic, salt, pepper, olive oil, and a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. And then I saute or cook that in the oven. And I also just have some little Yukon Gold potatoes that I just cut into small little chunks as well. And these have olive oil, seasoning, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper on these. And then on the side, I just have a little bit of honey barbecue sauce, and the girls have ketchup with theirs. So that's what we're having tonight. Tonight for dinner, we are having some beans. Sorry if my voice is crazy. We're having some beans. This is kind of like a really super easy for Holy Charles. Sunflower pinto beans. There's some cilantro, onion, tomato, bell pepper, bacon, and hot dogs in there. It's chunky guacamole. And then in here is a fajita quesadilla. So I made like chicken and steak fajitas, and I just put it in here with some cheese, melted up. And so that's mine. And this one is my husband's. He has 2 of the quesadillas. Alright, so for dinner tonight, today is Sunday, so we have a big Sunday dinner. I made carnitas. These are my easy pressure cooker carnitas. If you guys want, I can do a recipe video on this. Super easy. But I basically cut a pork shoulder into tiny little cubes, as you can see, like this. And then I put it in a marinade with just orange juice and salt for like 30 minutes. Throw it in the pressure cooker with a couple bay leaves, a little bit of onion, maybe like a quarter of an onion, and a couple cloves of garlic. And then once it cooks in the pressure, I fry it in a pan with a couple tablespoons of lard, just so it gets a little bit crispy, and of course, you know, cooked in the pressure cooker, so the cubes turn to shreds. But that's, oh, and I put a bottle of coconut, like a half bottle of Coke, while it's in the pressure cooker. And then we are having some elotes, which is Mexican corn, and I made some Mexican rice over here. To top our tacos, we have some yellow corn tortillas, and then we have a green salsa. It's like a guacamole salsa. It's really spicy, so good though. And then I have a roasted tomato salsa, plain roasted tomato that I made, and then I grilled a big Mexican onion. That's just from before. And then over here we have a little thing of queso fresco that you can top. And then here's how we made the elote. So I just took a corn, cut it in half, boiled it with a little bit of butter, and then you just put some of the Mexican mayo on it, and then some of the Mexican grated cheese. It's kind of like parm. And then we'll just build our tacos at the table. For dinner today, we are having some pork that I put over rice. So it's like the leftover pork shoulder. Well, it's not leftover, but I had like a big pork shoulder. We ate some yesterday, and then I took the rest, cubed it up today. I made like a tomato sauce for it in the blender, and then added zucchini. And then we're going to have that over some white rice that's just cooked in like a chicken broth. Why are you not focusing? So it's just cooked in a chicken broth. And then I made some of like the Copycat Red Lobster cheddar garlic biscuits, just using like Bisquick. And then you add sharp cheddar cheese inside and garlic powder, and then over the top I made like a little margarine. Use margarine, parsley, dried parsley, and garlic powder, and then you just take it and like brush it over the top when they come out. So we're having that. And then the girls are also having some fresh watermelon that I cut up as well. Okay, so for dinner tonight, I made a roast chicken. So what I did was I just cut the bone out of the chicken. We already ate. Sorry, I forgot to film before. So I cut the bone out of the chicken. It's kind of like upside down, if you can see. Or like the spine bone of it. And then I put it in the pan. And then I added some fresh garlic, some lemon pepper, and salt. Just cooked in the oven at like 400 for like 20 minutes. And then I turned down to 350. I also just cooked some russet potatoes, just for like baked potatoes on the side with butter, salt and pepper, sour cream. And then I also made a corn casserole. This is like the Jiffy corn casserole where you mix like cream corn and Jiffy mix and stuff like that. So that's what we're having. And I'm getting ready. Once the girls go to bed and stuff, I'm going to make a banana bundt cake for in the morning. So, yep, there is dinner. It was really good. I'll show you guys what I'm starting for dinner. So I just put a chicken in the crock pot. It's a whole chicken, and then they came in a 2-pack. So I cooked the one yesterday, and then today we have the one in the crock pot. So I seasoned it with some salt and pepper, and then a half a teaspoon. I just mixed it all in a bowl, and then sprinkled it inside the chicken and all over it. So I have some Old Bay seasoning, some onion powder, also some garlic powder, some Cajun spice, a little bit of Hungarian paprika, and then just some adobo. So again, I just mixed all this in like a little bowl, and then just sprinkled it all over and inside of the chicken. And now I have this set on high for about 4.5 hours. And then when it's done, we're just going to cut it up or whatever, and then we will have it with some mashed potatoes and some gravy. I'll make some gravy mashed potatoes. Then we have leftover corn casserole from yesterday. And then for breakfast today for my husband, he had like a chicken quesadilla with the leftover chicken. And then I figured I'd show you what we made with the rest of the leftover chicken. I made chicken salad. This is like my Mexican chicken salad. So I took one of the leftover baked potatoes, and then I mixed it with, sorry it's so dark in here. I mixed the leftover baked potato with some Mexican mayo. It has like lime and stuff in it. You can find it like in the like Hispanic food aisle. You'll see it there. So anyway, so I mixed it with Mexican mayo, the chicken, salt, pepper, and then I normally put carrots in it, but I didn't have any. And then what you do after you mix all that up is you take some of these sliced jalapeno peppers. I don't like the ones in the jar. I like these cans. These are really good. They have carrots and onions in them. And so you take a little bit, maybe like a teaspoon, just it depends on your taste really. But you take a little bit of the juice and mix it with the mayo in here. And then I cut up a couple of the carrots and put in here. And I cut up 2 or 3 of the jalapenos and put in here. They're like quarters of jalapenos. So I just cut it up, and then we actually eat this with tortilla chips, like a dip. So it's super tasty. So it made quite a bit. So yeah, this thought I'd show you what we do with our leftovers. And then the corn casserole, like I said, I made a big batch of it yesterday. So we're going to have that left over today as well. Okay, so for dinner tonight, over here we already ate again. I'm sorry. The girls were busy. But anyway, so I made homemade mashed potatoes and gravy. And then I'm also going to show you over here dessert. I made a banana bundt cake for tomorrow for breakfast. And then I also made some homemade peanut butter cookies for dessert. They turned out really good. They're like soft, they're like big soft cookies. And we also put like little peanut butter chips in them. And then don't look at my dishes. Rosalina. And then also to go along with it, I made a roast chicken in the crock pot. So I'm just waiting for my husband to get home. He's going to eat. He hasn't ate yet. Me and the girls did. And then that is it. But those cookies, oh my gosh. Me and the girls made them. I think I like perfected my cookie recipe. It is so good. My banana bundt cake smells really good too. So my husband doesn't like those, but he likes this. So alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, so here's dinner tonight. I made like bloomin' quesadillas. So I made like a fajita mixture over here, and then I just have some quesadilla cheese with just some like Colby Jack, and we put it inside. And yeah, so I did a flour for Francisco's, and then mine is just a half of one. And then I'll show you what else we're having. And then we have some homemade guacamole in here. And then I also have some bean dip over there. And then Lena's supposed to be eating noodles, but she's eating the bean dip. Good?
I did.
Yeah, you eating those too? How is it? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Woo! So tonight for dinner we are having a random thing I threw together. So I had these thin strips of steak that I had in my freezer. So I did a quick marinade with some soy sauce. Well, I did like liquid aminos, olive oil, pepper, one more thing. Oh, and some sriracha. And then I cut up some Yukon Gold potatoes in like little wedges, and I cooked those in a pan with some oil, salt, and pepper. And then once they were almost done, like I put a lid on for like 5-10 minutes, browning them pretty good. Sorry it's dark in here. And then once they were done, I added in some Brussels sprouts that I also quartered, and I also added in the steak, and then just let the steak and the Brussels sprouts brown on one side of the pan. And while the steak was browning, I also threw in a couple teaspoons of garlic over at the Brussels sprouts and steak. So this is what is for dinner tonight. Looks like a mess, but it's pretty good. For dinner tonight, I'm actually working right now, so my husband is in charge of dinner. He went to the store and got me a Polar Pop. And then he grilled out some ribs. These are country style ribs, but they are bone in. Normally country ribs like don't have the bone, but they're still called the country ribs. He seasoned them overnight. I'm not sure what he used. And then he barbecued it. I think it was the Stubbs barbecue sauce. And then he just made some corn on the cob. He put it in pigs for me, but I took it off the cob because, like I said, I am working. So, yeah. So this is what is for dinner tonight. Sorry, I was paying attention to my work. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So for dinner today, we are having a roast turkey. My neighbor gave me a little turkey, and we use like a Cajun butter. It's like an injection thing. Normally I brine my turkey, I just don't have time. So I just have some of the white meat, and then over here We just have like a pack of the noodles, or it's like chicken flavor rice. And then here I have some mushrooms that I cooked in some butter, some Italian dressing, and some ranch dressing, like dry seasoning.